A highlight of your trip will be a visit to Tan Chau this morning, a sleepy town unspoiled by tourism and a river village named Evergreen Island. We will be hauled ashore by regional boats for this morning's excursion as we travel through narrow waterways on tiny creeks where stilt buildings are leaned against one another. Before being transferred back to the ship, you will have the opportunity of visiting Evergreen Island or seeing the town by rickshaw, say loy, and visiting family workshops producing rattan mats and silks. After lunch, you can chill or sign up for a hands-on cooking class. While the RV Discovery is stopped at the border for immigration formalities, you can cool off with our fruit tasting.
Your show today. Cruise itinerary is subject to alteration owing to unforeseen navigational issues. Early risers can find coffee, tea, and pastries in the layback lounge starting at 6 a.m. Breakfast buffet is offered in the Hall restaurant from 7 to 9 a.m. Discovery time is from 8:30 to 11:30 a.m. The Tan Chau adventure begins with a tender boat ride to the shore where you will tour Tan Chau on a trishaw and make 2 stops at nearby silk and mat weaving workshops. From there, you will be carried by boat to Evergreen Island. Layback lounge is the gathering place. Bring water and your audio device, please. The ship leaves towards the border between Vietnam and Cambodia at 11:45 a.m. Tan Chau, border, 13 miles/20 kilometers.
Lunch is served at the Hall restaurant at 12:30 p.m. The Discovery arrives at the border around 2:30 p.m. and makes a stop to complete immigration procedures. Workshop on real cooking at 4 p.m. in the layback lounge. Come learn how to prepare Vietnamese spring rolls and pho noodle soup with Discovery's head chef and his staff before watching a demonstration of fruit carving. Fruit tasting on the sun deck at 5 p.m. Learn more about Asian tropical fruit with us on the sun deck. Location may change due to weather. 6 p.m. Happiness reception. We cordially invite you to our cocktail celebration in the layback lounge. The briefing for the Thursday and Friday excursions to Phnom Penh and Cochin begins at 6:30 p.m. in the layback lounge. 7 p.m. dinner in the Hall restaurant will feature culinary specialties. The Discovery leaves at 8:30 p.m. for Phnom Penh, the capital of Cambodia. Distance from border to Phnom Penh, 62 miles per 100 kilometers. 9 p.m. Join your cruise manager for karaoke at Layback Lounge or stay in your stateroom to see the award-winning documentary Pol Pot, The Secret Killer, which is about the leader of the Khmer Rouge. After an overnight voyage, the RV Discovery will land in Phnom Penh the following morning. In order to meet all guest preferences, do reserve your table at the Master Chef's table as soon as possible. Go to the head waiter in the Hall restaurant, please. I'm grateful. Port information. Tan Chau is located in the southwest of the country, 20 kilometers, 12 miles, inside the border, and is surrounded by the lush, green rice paddies of the Mekong Delta. The Mekong Delta, sometimes known as Vietnam's Rice Bowl, produces 30% of the country's total output on just 10% of its land. Tan Chau, a major district of Vietnam's An Giang province in the Mekong Delta, has a population of around 184,000 in a 62 square mile area, 2009. Tan Chau, the district's capital, is well known for its Tan Chau silk, which is created using the well-known item Lang Mi Ar, silk that has been colored black using the Diospyros mollis fruit. Nowadays, a sizable population of members of Vietnam's ethnic minorities reside in Tan Chau. The Khmer Krom make up the majority of the non-Vietnamese population because of the town's proximity to Cambodia. There are also other ethnic groups present here, including the Cham and ethnic Chinese.
An Giang was founded by Vietnamese immigrants traveling southward in quest of new territory, and it was only made as a province in 1832. An Giang is thought to have formerly been a significant hub of the extinct Orc-El civilization. One of the most notable historical occurrences in Nzang under the Khmer Rouge rule in Cambodia was the Ba Chuk massacre in April 1978 in the village of Ba Chuk close to Tan Chau. Ba Chuk was a sleepy little community of roughly 3,500 inhabitants on April 15, 1978, when the Khmer Rouge started their string of border assaults. The Khmer Rouge terrorized Ba Chuk for 2 weeks starting on April 30, 1978, chopping everything that moved into pieces. They actually tore little children apart limb from limb while machete chopping adults. There were only 2 survivors of the tragedy.
Rickshaws. In Asia, the runner-pulled rickshaw was mostly employed by the upper class as a mode of transportation. Recent accidents and worries for the welfare of rickshaw drivers have led to many governments discouraging or outlawing the usage of rickshaws. Cycle rickshaws and auto rickshaws have mostly taken the role of runner-pulled rickshaws. These days, people often refer to those vehicles as rickshaws. In Vietnam, rickshaws are drawn by bicycles, especially in the Mekong Delta. They are frequently employed on a contract basis. Although they are used regularly in major cities all over the world, including New York City and Los Angeles, cycle rickshaws are most common in Southeast and East Asian cities.
Silk and rattan factories. Entering a Vietnamese factory may seem like going back in time to the early stages of the Industrial Revolution to Western tourists. Hand-dyed straw and silk threads are loaded into massive, loud, traditional mechanized looms. The factory floor is busy, loud, and filled with color. The Diospyros mollis fruit, used to dye Tan Chau black silk, is renowned worldwide.
Evergreen Island. On lovely Evergreen Island, observe typical rural Mekong Delta daily life. The people who reside here maintain the same lifestyle of their forefathers with few contemporary conveniences. In order to prevent floods during the monsoon season, homes are constructed on stilts. The fertile soil supports an abundance of fruit and vegetable crops, and fishing is always accessible.
Your tour in Tan Chau. We'll take a little boat journey into town from the ship. The majority of tourists who stop in Tan Chau will board a rickshaw, Ser Loi, to explore the town and stop by a family-run silk mill. After that, take a second rickshaw trip to a factory that makes mats. Each workshop we visit has a display room where you may purchase regional goods. Scarves, handbags, fans, hats, and other common goods can be found for $2 to $10. We'll next take a short 10-minute walk to the neighborhood jetty where we'll board a local boat for the remainder of the tour, which will be narrated by your cruise manager.
Cooking class. The art of carving fruits or vegetables into attractive shapes, such as flowers or birds, is known as fruit carving. There is disagreement over the art's origins. Some say it dates back 700 years to Sukhothai, Thailand, while others attribute it to China's Tang and Sung dynasties, AD 618 to 906. The practice of cutting fruits and vegetables, known as mukemono in Japanese, may have originated in Japan. According to Yukiko and Bob Haydock's book Japanese Garnishes, The Ancient Art of Mukemono, the history of mukemono dates back to the days when meals was served on unglazed clay crockery. Before the meal was placed on these shabby platters, they were covered with a leaf. Artistic chefs realized that the cutting or folding of the leaf in different ways created a more attractive presentation.
Before the 16th century, during the Edo era, when creative garnishes could be prepared by request, mukemono was uncommon. From these humble origins, the art has grown into a crucial component of every Japanese chef's education. The practice of carving fruits and vegetables spread outside of Thailand around the middle of the 20th century. Slivers of boiled or fried pig, shrimp, chicken, or beef are among the other ingredients. These are all wrapped in wet rice paper and served cold with hoisin sauce or nuc trump as dipping sauce.
Since the salad roll is not fried and contains various components, it can be clearly separated from a minced pork roll. Since spring rolls are made with only fresh ingredients, they represent the spring season's freshness, which is lost when they are fried. The fried form with minced pork is known as giard zor in southern Vietnam, nem or nem rang in northern Vietnam, while some restaurant menus mislabel it as an egg roll or spring roll. It differs from the Chinese egg roll in that it is frequently smaller and typically includes a combination of bean sprouts, vermicelli noodles, and occasionally mushrooms and carrots in addition to pork or another type of meat. It should be referred to as a Vietnamese egg roll instead. Fish sauce, lime, garlic, sugar, tiny red and green peppers, and water are mixed together to make a dipping sauce that is well known in central Vietnam. Garlic and peppers are minced. Pour some hot water into a bowl and add the sugar to hasten its dissolution. To the sugar water, add fish sauce, lime, garlic that has been minced, and peppers.